that unites the nation by ending the circle of violence and bloodletting. The president promised that the culprits of the heinous act will not go unpunished. In his message to the elders of chiefs of Ukoma, where the dastardly act occurred, to see it as duty to help the military to fish out the gunmen who committed the act against the country's military personnel on official duty at their domain. President Tinubu used the opportunity to commend the nation's armed forces for their restraint in choosing not to carry out reprisal attacks on Ukoma or its neighboring communities. He also pleaded with the armed forces not to let the development discourage them in their sacred duty to the nations, for there is no higher honor than the profession they are in. And the nation cherishes labor sacrifices in protecting their fellow countrymen from danger. President Tinubu also stated that it is now the duty of the federal government to protect the families of the slain soldiers, promising to provide housing in any part of the country, adding that it has also approved scholarship to all children of the deceased up to tertiary level. He appealed to the military within 90 days ensure that all benefits are paid. Still on the presidency, President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Major General Adamu Garba Laka as the new national coordinator of the National Counter-Terrorism Center under the office of the National Security Advisor. General Laka served in various capacities in the Northeast Nigeria, where he deployed tactical means to degrade terrorist groups. He also served in Sierra Leone and Democratic Republic of Congo under the United Nations and was part of the Nigerian contingent in the U.S. African exercise in Senegal. He holds master's degree in national security from the National Defense University, Pakistan, and in international affairs and strategic studies, Nigerian Defense Academy. The president anticipates that General Laka will bring his vast experience into this critical role to effectively remove threats through preemptive, proactive, and diligent counter-terrorism coordination. Moving on now, similarly, the president has approved the appointment of DIG Johnson Babatunde Kokumo, retired, as the new coordinator of the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons under the office of the National Security Advisor. DIG Kokumo, retired, is a seasoned and accomplished law enforcement professional with over 30 years of experience in crime prevention, management, analysis, and control. He was Deputy Inspector General of Police, Force Criminal Intelligence and Investigation Department, Force Headquarters, Abuja, from 2022 to 2023. The president expects that the new coordinator will deploy his immense experience and expertise in efforts to revamp the center and evolve new strategies to bring lasting solutions to the menace of arms proliferation, which is significant driver of insecurity in the country. And moving on to Lagos, Lagos State government says material integrity tests will be carried out on 6 buildings adjacent to the building razed down by fire on Dosumu Street, Lagos Island. The Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, Femi Oke Osanyitolu, disclosed this when he visited the scene of the fire incident. Ese Omaka reports.
Few days since the occurrence of the fire incident that razed down 4 buildings and destroyed properties and goods worth millions of naira in the Dosumu area of Lagos Island. Victims affected by the inferno are still counting their losses and are calling on relevant authorities to come to the raid.
I was there when everything started. The fire started from the next building, and there is a space. My building is not that close with the other one. There is a fence that demarcates the building. So what I really want, because I don't know what to say much, but what I really want is that Lagos State should intervene and help us.
My value of my goods is more than $1 million. It's more than $1 million. It's not 1,000 at all, less than millions. That's like, it's not something less than 7 million. What I can only say that we don't expect such by this time in the morning. It's not in the evening. It's not in the midnight. It started early in the morning. And before I would be here around 7:44, already our building, the 3rd floor, scratch from the downstairs.
The Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, Femi Okeosoyintolu, while conducting an assessment of the area, sympathized with the victims and appealed to Lagosians to observe safety procedures at all times to prevent fire incidents.
The most important thing that is very germane in emergency management is the orientation of the people. You can't force something on people like that. They need to change their attitude and orientation. Okay, look at those shops. They have highly flammable materials in there. When you check on those shops, do they put safety precautions in place? No.
Meanwhile, no casualty was recorded as at the time of filing this report. In Lagos, S.A. Owomaka, NTA News.
Moving on now, concerned by the increasing reports of educational certificate racketeering, the House of Representatives has launched an investigation into the matter. As a follow-up to a motion to that effect moved by the Chairman House Committee on University Education, Abubakar Hassan Fulata, during the plenary, the committee is set to hold an investigative hearing. Correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that chairmen of 4 various committees are primarily to carry out the investigation on the matter and report back to the House.
This meeting is intended to critically look into the matter on the best approach to seamlessly handle, commence, and accomplish the assignment to unearth and identify the culprits involved in the scandalous act and identify some of the private Nigerian universities in the country operating outside the law and prefer workable and sustainable recommendations to ensure that they are brought to book.
Already the government is taking steps with respect to our neighboring countries, proliferation of institutions and academic qualifications from this. But the activities of this ad hoc committee, of this committee, based on this motion, I think is very important. It's going to be very far-reaching in tackling and exposing some of the complacencies that are surrounding, that leading up to all these issues.
Nigeria is not bereft of natural and human resources, but has the capacity of becoming an industrialized nation. Research experts believe that the synergy between research institute and industries, in addition to government creating an enabling environment, will help in actualizing this. Amaka Owo reports that these were the views of stakeholders towards harnessing research and development for manufacturing and industrialization.
There needs to become an economy anchored on mass production of necessary essentials needed to run the society from various levels. This can be achieved through research, which is critical to deepening industrialization as it drives innovation and brings about infrastructural transformation.
There is what is called the triple helix, like a tripod. The government on one side, the research individuals on one side, and by that I mean the universities and research institutes, and then of course the private sector on the one side. So it takes these three to get an economy functioning properly, and any of these key sectors that are not doing their duty will lead to a failure in this process of harnessing research for the development of the manufacturing base.
For example, in universities, most people do research for the sake of promotion. And once they get promoted to the highest cadre, they forget about research. So it has to be a culture. It has to be a culture. It has to be something that should be ingrained in us. And that is why we need to restructure our educational system and ensure that even at the lower levels of the educational system, there is this culture of research is built into it.
According to the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, the manufacturing subsector accounts for 10% of gross domestic product. Therefore, growing this percentage requires replicating research outcomes and channeling findings into the manufacturing subsector, as Nigeria is endowed with the population to consume homegrown solutions and become a less import-dependent nation.
Nigeria, with an array of talent, resources, persons, that the country has, needs to find, innovate on its resources, which, if properly harnessed, we can export and reduce the FX consumption that is affecting the value of the naira.
Stakeholders also believe that it is time to match words with actions through conscious policies, especially as the government is battling hard in its efforts towards economic recovery. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Thank you, Amaga. The federal government has declared Friday 29th March and Monday 1st April 2024 as public holidays to mark the 2024 Good Friday and Easter Monday, respectively. The Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, urged Christians and all Nigerians in general to emulate the sacrifice and love displayed by Jesus Christ in dying for the redemption of man. According to the minister, Easter, beyond religious significance, promotes values of love, forgiveness, and compassion, which are essential for social cohesion and harmony. While wishing Christians at home and abroad a happy and blissful Easter celebration, the minister also called on Nigerians to join hands with the President Tinubu-led administration to bring sustainable development and usher in prosperity to all. You're watching news on NTA2, your Richard station. Let's take a break. The news continues shortly.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan is here again. NTA2 Lagos Network Center is inviting individuals and corporate organizations to take advantage of the blessed month to earn rewards from Allah by sponsoring any of our spiritually rewarding segments on Ramadan Diet, showing between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. every day of the month of Ramadan. Call to prayers, interactive segment, Tarawih prayer from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, living in the month of Ramadan, and so much more. For sponsorship and advert placement, please call. You can watch us live on DSTV channel 369, GoTV, and StarTimes channel 104. You can also follow us on our social media platform via Facebook at NTA2 Lagos Network Center. Ma'asalam.
The Council of Our Fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Lagos now, where Indino has an excessive report. In Lagos, state houses of assembly have tasked the federal government.
Welcome back. Emerging technologies and dynamisms in media operations require constant change in narratives to ensure that communication drives the desired change in Nigerian society. This, the helmsmen at the National Broadcasting Commission and the Nigerian Television Authority alluded to during a visit by the former NTA management Zenret Digmo reports.
The General of the NBC, Charles Ebuebu, led his management team to the NTA headquarters to strengthen bonds of cooperation and broadcast excellence. He says there's a disconnect between content creators and the regulatory body, adding that the aim of regulation is not to gag people, but ensure professionalism reigns.
Media is going through significant transformations as we speak, with innovation, technology, content, the use of AI and broadcasting, that before we get our heads around it, it has moved. So there's so much we can do together. I see the NTA playing a major part in where media is going.
Director General of the NTA, Saliu Abdulhamid Dembo, says NTA is ever ready to take up projects that support local contents in the interest of the nation.
Together, we have worked tirelessly to ensure adherence to broadcasting codes and regulations, promote professionalism among broadcasters, and uphold the highest standard of content quality. It is through this partnership and collaboration, such as the one we have with the NBC, that we are able to advance the interests of our audience and contribute to the socio-economic development of our nation.
This visit, both parties agree, opens up new horizons for better and sustainable engagements in the broadcast industry. In Abuja, Zenret Dingmun, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has extended his congratulations to Mr. Bassirou Diomaye Faye on his election as the President of the Republic of Senegal. The President, in a statement, notes that the President-elect Faye comes with a great promise and a sterling record, wishing him success as he takes on an important job of leading the good people of Senegal. President Tinubu also congratulates the outgoing President Macky Sall for overseeing an election that has been widely adjudged as peaceful and transparent. President Tinubu states that the success of the presidential election in Senegal and the successful conduct of the general election in Liberia a few months ago have affirmed his long-held conviction that the taproot of democracy is deeply established in West Africa and will not only grow stronger as it is watered by good governance, justice, and fairness to all. As the chairman of ECOWAS, President Tinubu affirms that the successful conduct of the Senegal election is a boost to the sub-regional organization in its efforts to promote peace, constitutional order, as well as strengthen ties among member states. President Tinubu congratulates the people of Senegal and assures them of Nigeria's best wishes and support. And from there, let's join our foreign desk for the news trending on the international scene.
That it has recovered almost 3/4 of the $14 million it lost in a glitch that allowed customers to withdraw more money than they had in their accounts. Customers returned the cash voluntarily as head of the commercial bank, Abisano, warned that those who did not will face criminal charges. Although the bank did not explain exactly what the problem was, the Commercial Bank of Ethiopia said that the glitch was not the result of a cyber attack and that customers should not be worried as their personal accounts were intact. According to reports, most of the money was withdrawn by university students. South Sudan's government has announced that all schools will reopen next week. Authorities have instructed teachers to remain cautious when students return, keeping any playground activities to the early morning and holding them preferably indoors. They should also ventilate classrooms, provide water for learners during school time, and monitor children, especially the young ones, for signs of heat exhaustion and heat stroke, and alert medics in the eventuality of such cases. The Ministries of General Education, Health and Environment have also disclosed that they will continue to closely observe the weather conditions in South Sudan and will advise the public accordingly. Finally, a major bridge in the U.S. city of Baltimore has collapsed into the Patapsco River after a container ship crashed into it. Officials say that the ship was said to have suffered a power issue, having received a distress call moments before the crash, but was traveling too quickly to change course. The U.S. Coast Guard has called off the search for 6 missing construction workers who were filling potholes on a Baltimore bridge when the massive cargo ship rammed into it, causing the structure to crumble into the water. For Global Tidbits, Adejoke Odeka.
From Global Tidbits, let's join our entertainment guest desk for trending news.
Hello, and welcome to the entertainment segment of the news. Popular Nollywood actor Beverly Naya has recounted how she almost quit acting due to cyberbullying. The movie star, who shared how a blog post damaged her self-esteem and almost made her give up her career, said that the blog post, which read, "Nollywood, can we please stop making Beverly Naya happen?" made her depressed. She stated that it made her doubt herself and made her attempt quitting on several occasions. Still on entertainment news, veteran Nollywood actor Rita Edochie has beckoned on Nigerians to refrain from questioning the deaths of film industry professionals. Rita, who made the call in a post via her Instagram page, emphasized that death is a natural occurrence that spares no one, irrespective of their profession or status. Her comment comes as the Nigerian movie industry mourns legendary actor Amechi Munago, who passed away recently after battling a prolonged illness. Rita also went on to share her grief and fond memories of the late actor, describing him as more than a brother and colleague. Rest in peace.
From entertainment news, let's go to sports. Sports Minister makes case for Nigeria to host Commonwealth Games plus other trending stories in the world of sports with Austin Demodo.
In the Battle of Eagles in Marrakesh, Morocco, the Eagles of Mali came out tops with a 2-0 victory over the Super Eagles of Nigeria in an international friendly on Tuesday night. The outcome of the match is now a reality check for the Super Eagles interim coach Finidi George, who has now won 1 of his 2 matches in charge.
I think it would be fair enough to try him as one of our own who has the pedigree, who has the experience to lay a foundation for the Super Eagles.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Sports Development, John Eno, says preparations have begun in earnest for the next African Games in 2027 to strengthen areas of deficiency and improve the performances of Team Nigeria going forward. The minister, in his post-assessment of Team Nigeria in the just concluded African Games in Accra, Ghana, also believes that an African country, including Nigeria, has the capacity to host the Commonwealth Games for the first time.
What we're going to try to do is to, other than continue to spend so hugely on competition, that we'll try to see how we can be spending more and more for preparations and for development.
In tennis, Daniil Medvedev took another step towards retaining a title for the first time in his career, as the Russian third seed defeated Germany's Dominik Kofer 7-6 love to reach the quarterfinals of the Miami Open. Number 1 seed Carlos Alcaraz also booked a place in the quarterfinals after a stress-set 6-3, 6-3 win over 23rd seed Lorenzo Musetti. In the women's category, Victoria Azarenka continued her bid for 4th Miami Open title with a 7-6, 1-6, 6-3 victory over Juliana Petseva to set up a semi-final encounter with Ella Rybakina. With Sports Update, I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
Well, that's our package on NTA2 News at this time. Do stay with NTA for more news updates and other interesting programs. I am Lanre Bileyi. Bye for now.